My name is Loren Rothman, and I am with the Global Technology and Information Services Department. That's part of SIL. So you guys have got it all down already, right? Because Wycliffe is partner organizations with SIL and JAARS and Wycliffe Associates and Wycliffe US. So we're all a big, healthy family. Anyway, so I'm here to do knowledge management and community development. One of my passions is to see people share things, share their resources, and make the most of what we've been given. I have a background in the banking industry. I was with Wells Fargo for 14 years. And about 7 years into that career, I gave God full permission to take me wherever He wanted to go. And I continued praying for 7 years. And I had a coworker. See, if I had really just been listening to God, I would have listened to my coworker. But my coworker was a Wycliffe MK, missionary kid, and she had actually lived at JAARS several years. And she told me when my kids were old enough, I definitely needed to take them down to a JAARS day so they could have an airplane ride or a helicopter ride or something. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I thought about that, and I was like, I can't wait till my kids get old enough. We're going to do that one day. Well, they did get old enough. They actually were scouts. Scouts had a camping trip to JAARS, and I was really looking forward to that. Little did I know that when I got here to the campground, the organizer, the facilitator for the Jungle Jump-Off program here at JAARS met us and just struck up a conversation about how he was called here to JAARS. It was a real interesting story. Had the hairs on the back of my neck standing up thinking, wow, this is really exciting. That's how call to service actually sounds. What's that like? I'd never really heard anybody talk about that. So at the end of his story, he kind of lightly said in there, yeah, and we've got a big IT department here at JAARS. So I went home and started going on the web looking at what are IT opportunities, the IT Wow website, you probably have seen the different opportunities, had a job opening for someone in knowledge management. And I thought, how odd, something so obscure, something so, very specific that would be out there. And God followed through with that in several very disconnected ways. The president of the International Mission Board came to our church and spoke of, God is calling you, make sure that you're following that call. And every devotional, every scripture, whatever I was reading seemed to be all pointing towards that. So my wife was a little bit concerned for a while. You went on a camping trip and you come back, you want to be a missionary. That's really interesting. So what is this all about down at JAARS? And so out of great devotion to her husband, she came down for a tour. And she's actually a nurse. She has a degree in biology and a degree in nursing, and worked in nursing for about 8 years in Charlotte. She's a native Charlottean, and I was the first one to get her to come to visit JAARS. So anyway, we went and the recruiter talked with us. Lights were going off everywhere. I have to say, though, that the calling to her was something like Sound of Music, where Maria goes into Mother Superior, and there's glass, the stained glass behind her, and there's loud rejoicing and song about climbing every mountain. We were in the basement of Townsend Building, and it was concrete, cinder block. It was no light, and it was just kind of God giving that sense of humor that He has. So anyway, we signed up, did our fundraising over 2 years, and now I am thrilled to be part of the IT department doing knowledge management, community development. I actually just came back from a trip to the Pacific and did a whirlwind tour of what's going on in Brisbane, Vanuatu, which is a small chain of islands to the east of Australia, and the Solomon Islands. And even there, they need processes and software that help them to share their ideas and knowledge. And so we're just about building those communities and building that process for them. So I'm just thrilled to death that God is us where we are. My wife works at the health clinic So we're all part of it. My son volunteers at the appliance repair area. He loves fixing refrigerators and air conditioners. And he's getting a great experience with former missionaries and people with great character traits.